Howdy, folks. Evening, Dave Kraus. How's it going? As you can see, I'm putting together an arcade machine today. I've already got, as you can see down here, I've got some blue buttons, I've got some red buttons, I've got the one and two player and the coin buttons. Soon, I'm going to hook up all the connectors and the boards and well, we're going to give it a run, and we're going to connect it to the Raspberry Pi, see how it goes. Um, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll have it. I might actually have it running today. Anyway, I'm working on the joysticks here, and let's see here. Great. Come on, I hate dropping stuff because that means I got to get out of this darn chair. Oh yeah, I've got the thing over here. So this will go on top of the joystick. I'm hoping I made the holes big enough for the joystick. If not, well, that's going to be a pain, but we'll do what we can here. Let me see how much does this move? Oh, good, very little. I made this this hole for the joystick. Let me see if it's. It's good, but it could stand to be a hair larger, but well, too little, too late. So, will you manual spindle control work with my 110 volt spindle? Yes, the manual spindle control will work with the 110 volt spindle. It connects to the manual spindle controller has 5 connections on it. On your box, you will see FOR and DCM, which are FOR is the switch on and forward. It's the on and off, and then DCM is the ground. So as soon as you short those together, obviously with the spindle configured, and that's an easy configuration. It's just a couple of settings, 1 or 2 settings. Then that's the switch part, and the spindle part, the speed control. There is one marked 10 volts. There is VI and there is ACM. VI is connected to. There's basically the spindle controller connects to all 3 wires. To the VI, to the VI would be yellow on my spindle controller. Black is the DCM. ACM for the spindle speed, and then 10 volt would be the red one. And then with that, you've just hooked up the spindle box with the 5 connections, and it's like I said, you have to change a couple of settings. I could walk you through that if it's a Huang Yang or Huang Yang or whatever it's called. They're all about the same. And excuse me. Wow. That one hit all of a sudden. And then so with that, you should be good to go. Where did I put my Boxo screws? There it is. Nope, there it isn't. I'll find it. Anyway, so yeah, that's it, and the speed controller will control it, and the good evening, Big Dave. Oh, or rather, Big D. Let's see here. I'm looking for my Boxo screws. I cleaned up the place, and you know what happens every time you clean up the place, guys? The everything disappears because it's all so nice and neat. Now you can't find it. But I did get rid of 4, count them, 4 garbage bags, and this will be the 5th. 4 garbage bags, this size, 35-gallon, 40 gallons, 42 gallons, something like that, worth of junk. Okay, that's hot glue there. That's not it. This is not it either. Those are empty boxes. Gotta be in here. And it's gotta be in here. Oh, in case you're wondering what the speed controller looks like, there you go. Well, obviously you've seen, I don't know if you've seen the picture. I think I have the picture already updated, but that's basically, I mean, there's a box behind it. That's the panel. And this is the on-off switch. You can control it remotely, and the speed, which, let me tell you, it comes with a little magnet in the back, so you could, find yourself either a magnet or a plate and attach it to the to your CNC. If your CNC is not metal, or you don't have a metal place to put it, and thunk, and just stick it right on, and you're good to go. And I'm looking for some screws. That I found them. Just handy dandy little 1/2-inch screws. Very, very necessary for working with 1/2-inch ply. What's also necessary, here it is my wonderful drill bit thingy. But it would be preferable if I had an actual bit with which to, there it is. I've got nothing but Torx bits around here lately. Troy, good morning. How are you? Paul? I'm answering some questions while I am building my the new yesterday I decided I decided, hey, let me go ahead. Great. It's a Phillips size 3. I need a Phillips size 2. I decided that I was going to finally get around to it. I've been wanting to build an arcade cabinet for a while. And well, I used to build them for people. I used to build them for the actual arcades and stuff, so the full size ones. And ever since I saw, like 3-4 years ago, when I saw Bob Claggett's thing with the Raspberry Pi and this and that, I go, oh, you know what? It's become easy, because I used to play these games. I have a MAME emulator, and I play them all the time on my Mac and on a PC, but there's nothing like the feel of an arcade cabinet. So yesterday I looked at some pictures and go, I like this, I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, and then I went from memory with a bunch of the ones that I used to work on, and I designed this. I'll show it to you in a sec when not in a second, but soon, when I finish putting these components in. I expect to have it, I expect, you know how it is when we expect stuff. I expect to have it running tonight, but that may not be the case. But I'm certainly going to try. There's a high probability. I made a 1/2 inch hole. I was just guessing at the size of the joystick, and I was hoping that it was the right size, and it seems to be just right. I mean, well, anyway. Okay, it apparently operates in all directions. So we'll see how it runs. I may have to in the future take it off and enlarge the hole just a tad. And if anybody's seen Airplane One, you know that a tad in space terms is about 500 million miles. So, but in this case, it's probably from 1/2 inch hole to 5/8. So it's no big deal. One drill bit'll do it. All right, so I've got one in, and I did not bother to check which way is up, but I'm assuming these things can. Let me see. Says L, and that's left. So, as long as I get to put them both in the same direction. Well, anyway. So, tell me something, guys. How many of you guys, because I know some people are not or were not arcade people when they were younger. How many of you guys were? I mean, I'm I was always in the arcade with friends, having fun. So, high school years, when you're not busy studying, which I was never really busy studying. Hey, Marcelo, how are you? Came to conclude my x-axis was stopping because the driver was getting too hot. Did you what? Did test you suggested, checked all the connections, all fine, ran the system with the Xylotex cover off, all fine. Okay. So, yeah. If that's the case, and that's happened in the past with a couple of Xylotex, it's very possible. Double check, make sure all your fans are running. I checked. I'm sure you might have checked your fans, but because there was an issue once or twice where the motherboard was burned out because one of the fans gave out. It happens. It happens. I mean, you build quite a number of units. A couple of them are bound to, All right, so let me turn this upside up and show you the design I made. As soon as I can maneuver it here. All right, so this is the arcade cabinet. There is a front piece that goes here. I haven't done it. I haven't put it on yet. Let me go ahead and put, now that we're here, let me put the joysticks on. There's the red one. Personally, I like the, well, these ball ones are good too, but get what you can get. You've got the cover there, and you've got the joystick here. And it helps if you hold the bottom of the joystick, because apparently the bottom wasn't screwing in. Well, okay. I'm gonna have to. One tip: if you guys are ever building one of these in the future, and you happen to order these joysticks, the I'm gonna grab a wrench. Well, you guys know this. I'm gonna grab a wrench, but I'm gonna put some rubber or something to grip this. It turns, so obviously you got to hold it to get the thing in, and I'd rather have it nice and tight. So in the middle of gameplay, it doesn't, fall off on me. All right, we have our number one, number two. Let me turn this a little bit, align it a bit. Okay, one person, two person, coin, coin. So we got our single person, second person, or however you want to configure the buttons. Now, let's see what we got here. Galaxian was my game. Yep, I was a fan of Robotron. Yeah, let me look at this picture in picture. I was a fan of Robotron 2084. That was my game, but I mean Galaxian was good. I was not a fan of Centipede. That's another reason I didn't put a rollerball on this, but Centipede and Anti-Ballistic Missile are the only two really big ones that I remember with rollerballs. Other than that, and up Dave popped in. Good evening, Dave. Yes, Paul, I'm answering all the CNC questions you like. I always answer. That's one thing I will say. Because my time is valuable, my time is limited, I have stopped answering CNC questions via the contact form because everybody wants help building their CNCs, and I'm happy to do it, but I'm happy to do it here. I'm not going to be, basically, if anybody has any questions as far as that now, if it's one of my products, then I'm going to tell them exactly how to wire it up. That's never an issue. But there's a lot of people asking me, well, what do you recommend for this? And what do you recommend for this? And I did this. And I look, come here and I'll answer those questions. I got more than enough time as I'm doing my thing, and that's not a problem. But and I'm happy to do it. But I'm tired of getting all those contacts and everybody's always asking for information, and it breaks up your day. Now they get a blanket response. Come see the show and ask me there. But in short, Paul, ask away because, yeah, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Let's see. And so, let me continue. Galaxian's a great game. Let's see. Going to add some yeah, definitely add some fans, Marcelo, to the Xylotex. Now, by the way, once they start overheating, they're a little bit more susceptible. So you might want to save your money and either get all the parts and do something yourself, or buy a hobby box, or get ready to do that because it could last a day, it could last a year, it could last 10 years. You never know. But most of the time, once they start going like that, you'd be very lucky if it fails immediately, because nothing worse than having an intermittent failure. Although money wise, I guess that's better because just turn it back on. It's been failing for years, but then it'll be crashing your program for years. Let's see here. Okay, I'm having problems with my stepper motors stalling from time to time. Any possible idea? Okay. That's a simple one. There are two reasons that a stepper motor stalls. First of all, how did you build your, because a lot of times people complain about, wrongly so, about the design of a particular famous person's CNC, and it's not the design, it's how they build it. So I'm not saying you built it wrong. I'm saying this, I've run across this in the past where people have said, "Oh, this is a horrible design. My motors are always locking up." Well, two things. Number one, it may not be the design at all, but if it is, check your now if you're running 425s, they're pretty beefy and they're pretty strong, so it's not likely that it's the stepper driver. Um, that it's the motor. Let's go step by step. First thing I would check is make sure your rails are smooth, and if you know that you built it right and your rails are smooth, and you can twist it, turn it off and twist it and everything, and there's no binding. Then if it binds in the same location, uh, very often there might be a little bit of little tiny bit of surface rust on the screws. I mean, they're susceptible to that. It happens. Just brush it off, put a little bit of lithium grease on it, um, and run it back and forth a few times. That being, let's now that we got rid of the mechanical issue, the next step is the electrical one. From my view, whenever I have any one of these boxes that they're brand new boxes, solid stepper motors and 425 ounce, no reason they should bind. And I haven't had a single failure with any one of the components, not a single, except one bad power supply. It was you could tell that it was broken from the factory. Short of that, I've never had an issue, but I have had motors stall 100% of the time. 100% of the time, it was for me, it was a bad solder joint or a connection, intermittent connection. If you're using Molex connectors, cut them off and solder the wires together. I'm sorry, I hate those things. Or put some aviation connectors on there, well soldered. Okay, so that's the connection side. There's also a possibility, yeah, because see, you can actually run a motor on 3 wires, believe it or not. Well, actually 2 wires. It will run one coil, and if your system is smooth enough, it will run until there's just enough of load to stop it, because it's like imagine a car. I mean, if you've done mechanics when you were young, imagine a car running on 7 cylinders instead of all 8, or 5 instead of all 6, et cetera, et cetera. As long as you can get it to the next one, even a V4, it's run on 3 cylinders, no problem. Well, this is basically like a 2-cylinder engine running on 1 cylinder when you have 1 or 2 wires missing, as long as they're not 2 from 2 different coils. So that's the electrical. Make sure you have and the way to do that is from the motor, disconnect your driver, because you don't want to be putting any power into this. From the motor to the driver, if you can reach, put a continuity meter and make sure you have a solid contact. Move the wires around while somebody's holding the contact, and make sure that it doesn't. So that's number 2. And number 3, the third reason it can possibly stall on you is either a driver overheating or a weak power supply. If those motors need, on average, 2 to 3 amps each. Okay, all 4 of them will not be running full bore at the same time, never. So you don't need 12 amps. At max, you'll need probably 8.5 amps. So for one unit, a 10 amp power supply is plenty, but a 5 amp is not. So if you have only one 5 amp power supply powering the all 4 motors, you've got an issue there. Also, if you're running TB6600s, I've run into that issue before when I was doing the tests of the different. When I spent about $5,000 in all different types of components before I put together my Javi box with the exact components that work best for the best amount for the least amount of money. The TB6600s either burn out, or most likely what'll happen is they're just too weak to drive the 425s. And for a small Gatton, I would say you can get away with a 269 ounce with a TB6600, maybe, if you're not pushing it too hard. But for anything 4x4 or over, I'd go with the 425s. That's all my information in a nutshell. I hope this helped, Paul. Let me continue with the questions and ask away if you have any more. Let me see. Too many buttons. Yeah, Paul, this is the beautiful thing about this is the Atari. You can actually play Atari games on here. You just have to use less buttons, which is a beautiful thing. Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, absolutely. I'm going to have all of these loaded up on here. Pretty buttons. Yep. As many as I can get on here. Okay, so let's see what we got here. These are my joysticks. Nope, these are my buttons. These are my power supplies for these little boards. And then I might as well just go ahead and connect these. Yep. It should give you a few things to look at, Paul. Please let me know how you make out, because I'm always curious. Alrighty, so let's bring this down here, like so. Yeah, and let's not kill the joystick while we're at it. There we go. I'll just rest it on the lead screw. It's not like I'm cutting anything with the CNC. I'm still pissed that it's been idle for a couple months, let alone a couple years. All right, so this little board is really handy. Connects to a USB, and or rather, it's powered by a USB, and that's a problem, because now I got to figure out. I got to buy a bunch of little plugs and connectors and wire them up. I don't know if I'll be able to turn it on today, but I'll certainly try. I do have one or two here, power connectors for the USB. Okay, so I have no idea. Oh, here they are. Nope, still no clue. This is what we do, guys. We figure things out. All right. Let's see. Give her all she's got, Captain. All right. So I'm going to clip off the little connector here. Now this will go to one of the joysticks. The big we have a big connector here. There you go. Click and click to one of the big joysticks. And that would be right here. Okay. There's one. One connection. Ah. And now for the rest. And now the rest of the story. I miss what's his face's was it Harvey? His stories. Okay, so oh boy. There's 4 here, there's 4 here, there's 4 here, there's 2 here. This is the only tough part is you gotta see which connection is which. Okay, so I got here. Alarm. AR. Okay, AL. Oh, left, right, down, and up. That's A. A, I guess, would be the joystick. Yes. No. The joystick is this one. Left, right, down, up. Okay. Ah, so you can wire them individually in case you want it that way. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Now, over here I have... Okay, guys. Let's do the embarrassing bit, which is not so embarrassing for us because, well, you know, we're all of the age. Yes, I can see now. As soon as I can figure out or remember where in the world the light switch was. Okay. We have K12 and 11, STSE, R2, L2, R1, L1, K4, K3, K2, and K1. Now, anybody want to tell me how to connect those? Well, it's time to figure them out. Okay, so K1, 2, 3, and 4, L1, R1, L2, R2. I think I'm going to connect those. I don't know what STSE, K11, and 12 are, but I'll figure them out later. Okay, and over here we have... over here we have +5 and ground. Good, good, good. All right. Let us connect what we think are the connections. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is completely different from... okay, here we go. Let's see. How much would you get off... Huh? If I were to sell the... Hang on a second. Let me take this thing off. Well, this is one of those things... Hang on. This is one of those things that is fun to build, but... the kits... the wood by itself, but it's really crappy. It's a poor design. But the beautiful thing about the design is it fits in a small box, so the shipping is small. The kits cost about $130. I've been pricing them out on eBay. So if you were to sell just the CNC'd box unassembled as a kit, you could maybe get $100 for it, which you've got $80 in wood. So the bottom line is, as far as the wood is concerned, pointless. You're going to make $20 and you're going to spend, let's see, yesterday I cut this box up and took about 2 hours. So 2 hours for $20. Your machine is worth far more than $10 an hour. And so anybody that has the great idea of building these and selling them. Now, if you were to make a full size unit and include all the games, I've seen them sell for $700 or $800. It costs about, you figure you've got, so the butt weight before you even think, ooh, that's great. The full size, because the bar tops, you can get them for $169 to $200 completely built, running with all the games, which is ridiculous. Because let's see, the Raspberry Pi cost $20, $30. Raspberry Pi costs $30. You can copy the RetroPie. The RetroPie is free. You'll need a chip, so add another. If you want a cheap chip, just to go cheap, add another $20. So that's $60. You gotta get a set of joysticks set like this, and I priced around is like $40. So now you're going on about $100. 30, 50, $90. Not including the case. $90. Monitor's going to run you 100 and something. I don't know how these guys are selling them with 10-inch monitors and stuff, and that's where they get you, because $200 and it includes a monitor. It's crazy. Let's see. For some of those, some don't. You got to look around. But okay, $700. Let's say you've got to spend 100 to 150 on a decent monitor, because not a decent monitor, a 22-inch at least. You don't want to. These things are large. They're full size units. This is basically a full size unit, but it's the top half. All I got to do is build a cabinet, and it's a full size unit. All right, so in wood, you're looking at probably 2 cabinet grade sheets, maybe 2.5, because you got all 2.5. No, you got the whole back. Make that 3. All right, so 3 cabinet grade sheets. You're looking at, I paid $35 a sheet, so that's $105. But if you go to Home Depot, if you don't have a store like mine, you got $50 a piece. That's $150 plus the other $200. You're basically looking at, to build a full size unit, and that's another reason I did the small one, because the full size one is probably 3 days of your time. You're looking at probably, between the monitor, the pieces, and the board, you're probably looking at spending about $500 in parts, including the wiring and all that stuff. Now, you got to spend the time. Like, it didn't take me long to wire it. Most of these come with pre-made cables. That's where you could spend $20 instead of $40, and you got to wire it all yourself. But hey, I believe my time is a lot more valuable than 5 hours putting what is this, 1 2 4 times 2 4 6 8 10 20 4 times about 180 connections if you were to not use this method. But it's pretty simple if you want to do it for yourself. Again, like I said, if your time is valuable and you don't feel like putting it together, buy one, because you'll save money buying it. But if you've got the skills and this is entertaining for you, as it is for me, then by all means, put it together. I think I've got in this, I had the wood. I spent maybe $60 on the electronics. So I've got $60 and an old monitor in this. So for me, it's a no-brainer. And So how much could I sell a bar top unit for? 200 to 400 if you can get it. How much could you? Oh, that was the other thing. The people selling these for $700 are promising you all the games, and they are committing a heck of a crime. Um, I imagine the bunch are from out of the country, but if you get caught selling, uh, 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 if Atari doesn't sue your ass, you can go to jail for piracy, major piracy. Because one thing is owning the ROMs. You have to legally own the ROM. There are a few games that are free, and you can include. But things like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and all that, you have to own the ROMs in order to um, be able to use the ROMs. So they sell the ROMs out there, by the way. They're about $80 per game. So just saying, if you want to go the legal route, but don't get caught selling one of these things completely loaded, because, well, don't get caught, don't do it. But and that's the long answer to the short question of what can you get for it. I've had a friend of mine ask me to build one for him for $2,000. And I told him no, because I'll be stealing your money and it's not worth it. But I am building him one for far less. Don't get me wrong. If he wasn't a friend, I'd take the money. Let's see here. This will be... well, I could always unplug it or remap it. So let's just go ahead and do this. Okay, so it's... we start with 1, 2, 3, 4. Start with the fifth one. Here we go. Okay, so R1, L1. Oh, yeah. That stupid mosquito that got me earlier today has been buzzing around still. Put out some fly paper. I'm hoping he gets hit with it before he hits me. I guess he had his fill with me earlier and he's just hungry again. Oh well. All right. L1 is this one. So L1, I'm going to assume, and you know what happens when you assume, so try not to. I'm going to assume that L1 is the top left. At least that's how I'm going to wire it for now. And when I have to change them, I'll change them. And R1 is top right middle. The next one will be L2. So L2, I'm going to, again, the far left. This is how I'm wiring it. And I'm sure this thing has a remapping program, so you can just map it any way you like. Set up the buttons with configurations and everything. But if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. All right. Here we are with the next 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Does anybody have any CNC questions or any arcade questions or some memories of games you used to enjoy? Zaxxon was one of my favorites. Well, it's funny. Yeah, I'll tell you a little story because that's what we do here. Um, yep, play for free. Uh, yeah, I could hit that coin button as many times as I want, or I could install a coin thing on it. So invite my friends over and make some money. Ha! Yeah, right. Okay, so let's see. K1 is this one. Um, so I'll share a little story. The back when I was in high school, there was a place called Charlie's Pizza. Well, there was a place called Cazzoli's. Everybody knows, familiar with Cazzoli's, the chain. Well, the Cazzoli's sold their store to a guy called Charlie. Now, let me share something about Charlie. Charlie was a very interesting individual. I've known two individuals like Charlie in my life, and I'm very happy to have met both of them. They were both well, no. No, one was Canadian and one was Italian. Although the Canadian one looked Italian. Okay, so I've got one wired up here. By the way, let me see if I can show you the wiring. All right, so here it is. Here's the first one. It's nice and wired, and eventually I will plug this USB into the RetroPie. That's for a little later. All right, so Charlie, like a friend of mine, Mr. Mike. He goes by Mr. Mike. How can I put it other than he was mysterious in that he gave off a godfather-like air. Okay, so this guy, I got to find the other cables here. Here they are. These and these. All right, so gave off a godfather-like air. That's to say, he never answered a question directly. He was always very mysterious about his answers. And with Charlie, he goes, "Oh, I got somebody that'll do that," or "You don't want to mess with me." That kind of, very, very godfatherish as far as if you didn't know any better, and a lot of people didn't, you would swear that you were in trouble. That you that he's trouble, that he has connections. And for all I know, he might have. But anyway, he had this pizzeria, and he had contracted me to do something. I was in high school, but I was already no, was I in high school or already in college? No, I was in high school. But I'd been working with my father in construction, and I knew how to drywall and stuff, and he asked me to come by his place. His place was ritzy, huge, and very mysterious to get to. Well, anyway, long story short, this guy was he he was um You didn't mess around with him. But nicest guy you ever ran across. And I, being a kid with relatively privileged, because my father was a general contractor and my mom spoiled me to death with his money. So uh, basically, I spent as many quarters as I wanted I would have, and I spent them all at Charlie's for a number of years on those games. He had 5 or 6 games. He was alternating them every now and then, but because we were supposedly friends, but really I was his best client because I ate pizza every day. We would go to lunch. I'd bring all my friends for lunch. I mean, I was basically I was a rainmaker for him. But so he would ask me which one should I keep in the store, and I always said, "Oh, leave the Robotron 2084 and swap out this one and this one." So we always got the classics: Donkey Kong, Zaxxon, Centipede, and all those. And I always had Robotron 2084 in there. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Super Pac-Man, regular Tron. I mean Tron. Anyway, um, so the games I'm familiar with, aside from when we used to go to the arcade, the games I'm most familiar with are the ones that are in his uh, arcade, or rather, in the pizza shop, because I was there daily. Daily. So much so that I dated one of the waitresses one time. She was absolutely fun to be with. And my parents did not like her. But that's a whole other story. Let's see, left and right. And and that's long history. And then when you're young, because I was young and I didn't know any better, I was infatuated, I guess, whether is the word or whatever. But you know, all of a sudden you start to see, oh no, this one's not for me. Very quickly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so I've got both of these connected. I am really looking forward to putting this thing together. I mean, getting this thing running already. I've got the monitor right over here. I can plug it in as soon as I remember where I put the RetroPie. Because I'm all set here. Okay. Oh, I forgot the USB and and then the coin buttons. I don't know where the coin buttons go, so let me do that real quick. Figure that out. Okay, here's the other one. I'm hoping these don't need. Actually, they do need +5, but I'll figure that out. Let's see. What do you got here? Ground and +5. Ground and +5. I would imagine these are the lights. It's possible. No, what's this one? This one is 5 volts. Well, I've got plenty of 5-volt power supplies lying around, so. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I don't need 3, I need 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. What do we connect the coin slots to? That's a good question, because I have no clue. Okay, so brain trust out there. Let me ask you something. Obviously, K11 and K12 are just two extra because there's K1, 2, 3, 4. There's the main controls L1, L2, R1, R2, and then there's K11 and K12. So those are the buttons. That's pretty much, I'm guessing, but that's pretty much it. Now, I have a few here. I have mode, clear, turbo, auto, A0, AD, AR, AL, and yeah. Oh, AL is easy. AL is alarm. There's got to be no. AL, AR. And then there's ST and SE. None of these are coin, and none of these are first person and second person. Although the K11, the K12, and the K11 might be. So let me do a little bit of research online. If anybody knows the answer, please shout it out, and maybe I can get this thing rolling pretty soon here. Oh. Alrighty. All right, so let's see. Arrow left, arrow right. That's good. Yes, that's a good one. Arrow down and arrow up. Okay, so oddly enough, they are, according to the wire. Yeah, I don't know why I shouted those out because those four, at least we can eliminate those four. Those four are individual plugs, but they are all wired together on the joystick plug, which is a thicker plug. So you can have the option of having a joystick or 4 buttons, up, down, left, right. Okay, so we eliminated those. So now we have auto, turbo, clear, mode, ST, SE, and K11 and 12. All right, so let's see what. Well, you know what they say: when all else fails, read the instructions. I'm not sure, guys. I don't know if I can speak Chinglish, but I will certainly try. Oh, look at this! It's nice. Oh, they even have a electronic user manual online. Oh, nice. Connect push buttons K1 and K12, K1 through K12 to slots. Okay, we did that. K1. Okay. Yeah. That's not it. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's continue reading. Vision helmet activated by push mode button 1 times. Well, I hope I don't have to push the mode button 1 times because I'm not going to connect the mode button 1 times or 2 time. Let's see. Other functions activate by push function button with 1 fight button at the same time. For example, if you want to activate the auto fire button, push auto and K1. Oh, that's awesome. Until you push clear in K1. Okay, so those are specialty buttons. I gotta eventually buy some more buttons. Okay, download MAME or other to work with the controller. All game ROMs and control configuration emulate, blah, blah, blah. Function button slots. Auto, turbo, clear, and mode. Yeah, again, with those, I have no idea. For Raspberry Pi, the encoder works with the RetroPie system. There's the setup. We've been working hard. Okay, here we go. Yeah, nothing at all. No help there, guys. No help. I don't know where to put the and I think the mosquito got me again. Damn it. Howdy, Jim. Jim, have you ever wired one of these RetroPie joystick thingies? I'm trying to see where to wire the coin and the excuse me, the coin slots and the first and second, the 1 and the 2 thing. But I don't know. I'm imagining it's all completely configurable, but there's no instructions here whatsoever. Let me do a little bit of research. Oh, in case you're wondering what this is, sorry, Jim just came in, so let me just share the share this thing here. All right, Jim, this is what I'm working on today. I just finished putting all the buttons in and the joysticks and wiring them up to the connectors, to the boards. Those little, I've got. It's really nice because they got a bunch of JST connectors and they all plug in, so it's no soldering needed, no nothing. And these two boards, one for that side, one for that side, connect directly to the RetroPie, which is my next step. Actually, my next step is installing the monitor. Let me go ahead and do that. Missile Command, you know, that's one of the games that requires a... let me see, is Missile Command the one that requires that stupid ball? Oh, no, it doesn't. I love Missile Command. Okay, never mind. Unlike anti-ballistic missile or whatever. All right, so... Sorry, guys, I'm here trying to remember where I put my RetroPie box. Because I know I put it right by either the buttons or my other thing. The oh, here it is. Is this it? That looks. What the heck is? Oh, that's a camera. Never mind. That's not it. Well, let me at least connect the monitor. Okay, monitors here. I need the back plate. Okay. I almost got busted in the Air Force because of Missile Command games on the base bowling alley. That's rough. Ugh. Okay. There we go. Let us connect this thing. take off the plastic cover. Put it in my already beveled mounting thing, whatever you want to call this. Well, it's not easy working with one hand here. There we go. Yeah, just as I thought. I'm going to have to do it. Well, maybe not. Let me see what I can do here with this one. As soon as I get 2 screws in, I'm good with the rest, but it's the first 2 that are the issue. And they're done. Good. Now the rest is a cakewalk. So what I did was I created, for those of you wondering what I'm doing back here, I created a bevel in the middle, a beveled, you might be able to see it there, but probably not. Let's see. So let's see if, yeah, there's a little bit of a reflection. Well, there's the screen. And it has a beveled frame around it. Now, the beveled frame on the back of it, I lined up 4 1x2s, about 1/2 inch thick, 3/4 of an inch thick, one on the top, one on the bottom, one on the left, glued them in place, nice and solid. And then I put, see the monitor, the top 2/3 of the monitor is only 1/2 inch thick. So that's very convenient because, well, I'm not going to, it's too bulky to turn around and show you, but as long as I can keep it pressed up against the bevel, then it's the perfect size because it won't go left, right, up, down because of the stops. So all I did was attach a very long, like a 2.5 inch by whatever this is, 16 inch That's more than 16 inches. 23 inch, 23 and a half inch bar, and screw them in. So that's good to go. I've got all full access back here for all the controls, and now I could just if I can just figure out where I left my other thing. Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm going to just put it out there on the website eventually, I'll see if it I might get some bites, I might not, because I figure, look, if I'm building one of these and it takes me just as long to build this as a hobby box, well, of course, hobby box is the priority first. So just so you know. But yeah, definitely. I mean, if anybody wants to build one, I'll be happy to let you know how to go about it. What time is it? 9:11. Okay, got some time. Let me hop real quick back into my other room. I hate to leave you guys alone, but I'm going to go grab my. I'm sure I left it in the other room, so I'm gonna go grab my RetroPie so I can finish this install. Be right back. Well, folks, I didn't find it. Let's see. I didn't find it anywhere over there, so my guess is it's buried under here somewhere. And possibly when I took out my cameras here, might have buried it. But I'll keep a looking. Just threw a bunch of stuff on here. Let me. The good news is that I've cleared out so much stuff that everything's easy to get to. The heck is this? Okay, why am I? Oh, anyway. Cameras. Okay. Power supplies. More stuff. I have opened the same box. How many times do you guys do that, guys? I've opened the same box and looking for something 3 times. 3 times. And and every time I go, oh, I opened that box already. Frustrating to no end. All right, so it's not here, which means it is likely somewhere else. Great. Now I got flypaper on my cable. I hate this stuff. Why did I do this? That mosquito got the better of me. Oh well, it is what it is. I'll just stick it there. Hey, is that where it is? Look at that! Thank you, mosquito. Okay, so, and if you're wondering why I'm thanking a mosquito, all right, I came in here and I was in shorts and I got bit because it's been raining and raining and raining constantly. This is Miami, that's normal. So I got bit by a mosquito and I was very annoyed. I couldn't catch it. So I went in the house looking all over for my little Raid fly ribbons, figuring, hopefully it'll attract them. It's worked before. I don't like to use them because they're messy. Well, when I pulled it apart, it was all sticky. I couldn't get it. It was a mess, but there it is, lying there. And I had it here. Haven't seen the mosquito, so something must have happened. Maybe it died. It left because it was full. I don't know. Regardless, the flypaper was hanging here. And in my search for this, I tangled the wires up in the flypaper. So now I got that sticky garbage all over me. And then so I go, let me put it out of the way. And guess what? That's, as you saw, where I found this. So I have officially thanked the mosquito because were it not for the mosquito, I may not have found this thing so easily. Well, maybe not that easily. All right, so I am once again going to turn everything upside down so I can work on this. Okay. Now, I've got everything wired in, except, of course, the coin slots and stuff, so I'll figure them out in a little bit. Bonus items. Hey, I got bonus items, guys. Please accept this bonus item as a token of our appreciation for choosing Vilros. They sent me a mini to HDMI connector. What a coincidence. I'm going to connect it right now. All right, so now comes the fun part. Figuring out how to connect everything and where to connect everything, etc., etc., etc. Excuse me. Okay, so here's a power cable. I would imagine this powers my Pi. Oh, by the way, this kit, very nice, whatever this is. I have a feeling I'm going to be cutting the stream off in about 10 minutes and going to be heading on inside the house because it's, I got a little bit more space and it's nice and comfortable there. But in the meantime, I've got my Raspberry Pi here. And I've got my Raspberry Pi container. My P4 case. There it is. Look at that. Very nice case. Little feet. How exciting. Okay, so I will put this in its place there. I will put this here. Okay, it fits perfectly there. Oh, there must be 4 little tiny screws somewhere because... Let me see if this thing holds it all in place without screws. Would be nice. It sure does. All right. So I've got my case. It's got all the connectors on it. This is the best purchase I ever made. It was worth the little extra money. Oh, sweet. Sweet. You ordered a Spindle controller. That's excellent. Absolutely excellent. Okay, so this is the HDMI. So what do we have here? We have 2 HDMIs, I believe. HDMIs. There it is. Okay, we'll connect this one here. These connectors are so freaking small. Yeah. Okay. HDMI connector to HDMI plug. Okay, that's how it looks. That's how it is. There it is. Okay. Power plug to power connector. Oh, it's a USB-C. I like this. I like the new, the P4s are nice. They have a USB-C connector, so you could put it up every way. I like this so much, I might get 2 or 3 of them. Okay, I'm going to have to, I somewhere around here, I have to get some speakers and put them together. Okay, so, well, that's as far as I can go, guys. Well, obviously not. I can plug in the 2 the two plugs here. Plug in these two connectors. And the only other thing that I got to plug in is I don't need Ethernet. I don't need this. I don't need that. Let me put this here. Oh, I am so looking forward to configuring this, Actually, you know what I can do while I'm here? Yeah, I've got a few minutes. I'm going to take one of these tie wraps with a hole. Best purchases ever. And I'm going to take my little screws that are just perfect enough so I can attach these here. So you guys really don't see what I'm doing, but believe me, it's making this very comfortable and very neat. As soon as I find where I left my clipper, here we go. Okay. Garbage. And eventually I'll do the wire management thing, but for now I just want to leave it so I don't have anything, hanging. This, I think I like this so much, I may actually end up building one for home and one for the property. Well, we'll see about that. But because I got to tell you, you get tired of whatever you're doing, whether it's work or building hobby boxes or whatever. You get tired and you want to relax. Okay, so what's this? Oh, heat sinks. Well, I better put those in, but I'll do that later. All right, getting ready to call it a night, so I'll take a few of these screws with me. I'm going to have to make a second trip. All right, so I got to take this big monster inside. So it looks like I may actually be programming it and playing it tonight, if all goes well. So, well, folks, I'm going to bid you guys all a fond adieu. Wish you all the best, and I will actually not see you guys on Friday because I will be getting ready for a party of my daughter's, and I'll probably see you on Dave's show. Well, it may or may not, depending on how I probably will. But my daughter's party is on Saturday, but they don't need me, so. So I will likely see you guys all next Monday at the property. So you guys have a wonderful day. I'll let you know how this turns out. I'll show you maybe on Monday. So you guys have a wonderful week, and hopefully see you Saturday on Dave's show. Good night, all, and good night. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it. Bye now.